Ideating for solutions. And if you follow the path of design thinking, the 5 steps, this is step 3. Empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. For many people, this is the most fun out of the 5. Other people prefer different parts. It's much less work and much more fun in games. Brainstorming is the part of the process that we do in-house. One of the steps that we do in-house. Typically, we do it ourselves as design thinkers. I remind people that when they're doing ethnographic and empathetic research, that they not ask the people to design. Don't ask the people what solution they want, because they can't tell you. Instead, ask them about their lives. You discover what would make their lives better, and you come back and design that. That's what we do in step 3. This is where we put on our inventor cap. We become a Dr. Bose or a Thomas Edison or an Abdul Kalam or even a Sam Petroda, and we invent something that is going to make people's lives better, and by doing that, help us to achieve our project goal. So we have on the agenda today issues about creativity. That's usually a common question when we talk about ideation, when we talk about inventing. There seems to be a shortage of creative ideas, and there seem to be some reasons why we don't get more of them. So we'll study that in some detail and some depth. Then I will actually give you some of my favorite techniques. There are literally thousands of them. And I'm just going to share with you a few of my favorites that I have seen work very, very well. So, okay, I'm seeing something in chat. I think I'd better open that and figure out what's going on. Oh, it's mostly good mornings. Okay, great. Okay, lovely. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So in terms of creativity, and I guess people are still coming in, so this is probably a good time to do it. Let's just ask you, just as we did the last time we met, but last time I gave you warning. I'd like to ask you to think of a creative way, some creative solution you designed that solved a problem. Okay, a creative solution you designed. Think for a second and just tell us the story in a couple of minutes. We don't need a whole lot, but I wanted to give you a chance to share your story about creative ideation, creative solutions.
Hey, David. This is Meena here. Sorry, I don't have my network is poor, so my camera is not on. Can I go ahead?
Oh, please do. Please do.
I work for information technology, and there was a task given to my team saying that we need to go into specific services team who services multiple clients to find out what are those manual activities that what they are doing today and help them automate them so that they can reduce the mundane activity and use those resources for some productive activity. When we started this exercise, somehow it was not going well because the way how IT industry serves every client is pretty unique. And for somebody, when they're changing the manual process into automation, that's kind of not in a form to go back and reuse it for a different customer. So when we thought of putting a model, when we proposed a model, it didn't work. So we took a sample of 10 customers with different sizes and different ways, the way how they are serving their clients. And we did an empathetic research. So we sat with them, had a one-to-one discussion with 3 sets of groups. One is the executive level, one is the analysts and the SMEs, the other one is the co-developer who are working on the grassroots level. We found out that all of them are doing something common, but they are not able to categorize that into those common categories. And we gave them the category and we told them that it's okay. You don't have to bother about whether this can be reusable for a different client, but help us to put it in this category. And then we roll off this whole assessment in a top-down approach rather than a bottoms-up approach. We sent the whole world who are falling under this kind of activity from the executive level saying that, guys, all we need is put your problem into this category. We will come and help you. And it worked.
Brilliant. Thank you, Meenakshi, or Meena, as you call yourself, Meena. Great.
Yes.
Excellent. Praveen, you have your hand raised. Please tell us about your creative problem solution.
Yeah, David. Yeah, good morning all. I hope I'm audible. Like,
Absolutely.
oh, great. Yeah. So there was a survey, and then point came that in our team the environment is not good. So we had a team meeting where the question was raised how we can improve the environment, or what action we take to improve it. So nobody had the point, or hardly there any point came, and then we stuck, okay, how we can improve it. So I saw that idea in the past, and then I suggested that what we can do, instead of asking what we can improve, we can go in the opposite direction and then say, okay, not in our team, but for any team in the journal, how we can give the bad experience to the team, or how we can give the bad environment to the team. Then so many people came up with the points, okay, we cannot have the collaboration in the team, or seniors cannot have the juniors in the team, or we will hide the information with each other. So these are the ways we can make the team experience bad. So after jotting down these 15 points, then we matched, okay, how many points are relevant or applicable to our team. So out of those 15 points, 8 points were relevant. And then we had the problem statement in those 8 points, and then we solved those. Like, what we can do, like open a team chat every time so that anyone can ping there and can get a help. So these kind of solutions. That's my story.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. And we have another Praveen wants to speak, right?
Yes, David, can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. David, my experience is not related to a specific product, but this comes from my experience of working with an NGO for some time back. Remember the year 2005 when India had the tsunami attack. So I had a client who had his, a donation, and we had to figure out a project to spend this out. I traveled the entire east coast of Tamil Nadu, but it was a situation where the supply outweighed the demand. Basically, there was just too much of fundings for the amount of damage caused. So, but what happened was, if I have to put it in your context, the empathetic way of listening to people across the East Coast, I understood that this was a short-term issue, but they had also long-term issues. They didn't have proper infrastructure and so on and so forth. So I proposed that idea, stating that, hey, this is probably not the actual issue. There is another underlying issue which is on a long term. So probably the client has to look at it. Basically, the villages having lesser number of classrooms, or they don't have proper compound walls around their schools for safeguarding and so on and so forth. I went and proposed this to the client as well as the district magistrate. They thought this is of a great help, and finally we managed to have win-win solutions for everybody, not actually concentrating on the current issue, but on a different issue altogether. So that experience told me that when you go and search for something, you will find many other things which probably you will find an opportunity for.
Lovely, Praveen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a great story. Okay, well, anyone else want to share a creative way that you approached a situation, a creative solution that you came up with? All right, no problem. We had three very interesting stories. We had Meena talk about how she developed, she and her team developed a categorization scheme so that they could create reusable or some sort of solution that I think created some standardization and perhaps reduced duplication of effort, so that instead of each client solution being absolutely unique, they were able to at least reuse or some element, whether it was process steps or code. Meena, did I get it right?
Yes, right. Yes, David, absolutely.
Okay. And then we had our first Praveen Jain, talk about how the creativity was actually in their brainstorming process. The team was trying to think of better solutions. Okay, and I see two people are raising the hand, so we will get back to you two people, unless it's okay. Chinmay is there, but let me give you the first three. The first, Praveen said that instead of using a particular call for ideas, they went and asked for how to create a bad team environment, and that revealed some specifics that they were then able to use as prompts for brainstorming. And then Praveen Kumar told us that what they did was they needed to spend money. That's a nice problem to have. It was donor money for a non-governmental organization. And so what he did was he asked the people about their situation. He performed empathetic research, and then that led to discovering some needs. They put together a proposal based on the needs they discovered, and sure enough, everybody loved it. Okay, Chinmay, you had your hand up, and let's see what your story is.
Yeah, hi David. So I would just like to correlate with one of my own experiences and one of the products I developed while I was working with Dainik Bhaskar Digital. It's an online media publication company. So I was given a task of managing the product for you can say push notifications. That's the recent thing in the industry, that whenever you go on a website, it asks you to subscribe to a push notification, and then it starts sending you updates, etc. So being a media organization, traffic is our primary concern, and repeat traffic and frequency is our primary concern. So manually, this never happens. Like manually, at one person or few people can send only a few notifications at a time, and that too can never be personalized. Okay, you can capture a little bit interest of users, but not to the depth of extent. So what me and my team, we were three people, what we did were we analyzed this problem, that how to send personalized notification to the people, and how to remove the manual intervention in between, that the picking and choosing of what stories to send. Uh, so what I developed an algorithm was that I used to check freshly in our database, like in last 24 hours or last 16 hours, what were the news stories that were being published by our editorial team, which had not been sent manually by the editorial team as push notification. And then what we were doing with the help of big data, we were capturing the cookies and analytical aspects of by using natural language processing, NLP, we were capturing the user interest also.